Dental disease is all about plaque control, dietary control, and those are behaviours. So being able to change people's behaviours is really key. There are kind of two challenges. There's those behaviours where it's habitual, like toothbrushing. And what we really want to do is kind of disrupt it slightly, keep the ritual, but perhaps change the behaviour to be more optimal in terms of performance. And then there are things that perhaps people aren't doing, such as incidental cleaning, which we want to actually start and also maintain it over a long period of time. It stands for 3 elements of communication in order to create behaviour change. Of goal setting for the G, planning, the implementation of that change, and S for self-monitoring.
Right.
Recently, we've added another P. So the 4th P is persevere. If we want somebody to develop a habit, the key thing is repetition.
Right, so behavior change is not a one-time off, it's really a long-time effort.
No,
right.
I think it's part of an ongoing relationship between the healthcare professional and the patient. A really common one is the use of incidental brushes. So I would start by agreeing that goal with the patient. We kind of know what the goal is going to be. We want them to use that incidental brushing very regularly, preferably every day. So we'd come to that agreed goal, and then the planning element would be thinking through when they're going to do it, where they would do it, what sort of resources they would need, and any problems they might anticipate. So quite often I'd say, when would be a good time to do that? And they might say, at night after I've brushed my teeth. And so that the where would be wherever you brush your teeth, in the bathroom. And we'd think through, well, if you're going to do that, what would you need? Where would you keep your incidental brushes to remind you to do that? Would you always have that time to do it? Because it's going to take a little bit of time at first. What would you do if you forget? So thinking through those images, that kind of those questions, because we want them to form an image of themselves in that space, doing that behaviour successfully. And the evidence suggests that if you form that mental image, actually you're much more likely to do the behaviour. So the planning is particularly important because it's getting the person to make a sort of commitment, a behavioural commitment, and to work through some of the challenges that might be there to making that change. I would say, listen to the patient, identify the information that's relevant to them. That's very efficient. And if you're tempted to give a long lecture on how to brush your teeth or use an incidental brush, stop. Do planning instead. Planning. Plan with your patient.
Okay.
Make a joint plan about how you can move towards those patient's goals.
Right. Work together.
Yeah.
It's time to wrap it up. Tim showed us that behavioral change techniques do not have to be complex, and they can be applied by anyone. It is important to realize, however, that it requires relationship building and habit formation, both of which take time and effort.